Welcome back to LWC Kids Church Online. We are having so much fun this month learning about families and about what God wants for our families. Today, we're going to hear a story about an interesting wrestling match. Have you ever done thumb wrestling with your family? 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war. It's pretty fun. You should try it and see who is the champion in your family today. I'd like to know. Last week, we learned about how Jacob had to leave home because he had made his brother Esau so angry when he tricked him. Esau wanted to kill Jacob. So Jacob ran away and they lived separately for years. But we're going to learn what happened when they saw each other again today. Relationships can be hurt, but God can help our families and relationship heal. Speaking of that, let's go get our big idea with Mr. Jeff and Elmer.
Hey everyone, hey Elmer, how's it going, buddy? You doing good? That's good, buddy. So, I got a question for you, Elmer. What is something that's hard to fix once it's broken? Oh, you once broke a glass and that you couldn't fix that? Oh, you had a friend that broke a bone and it took a long time to fix and had to be put in a cast? Those are all great examples of things that are hard to fix. You know something else that's hard to fix? Is a broken relationship, like with a friend or a family member. Oh, that reminds you of the big idea for the week? Okay, what is it, bud? It's that God wants to help families heal. That is so right. Sometimes our relationships in our families get broken. Last week we learned about Jacob and Esau's relationship that was broken because of Jacob's dishonesty. Jacob had to run away because Esau was ready to kill him. And sometimes family members hurt each other. Sometimes things happen that hurt our families. Today we're going to learn about what God can do when our families are hurting. Have a great week. Bye.
Have you ever had a fight with someone in your family? Maybe you or your brother or sister fought over a toy, or you got in trouble with your parents or grandparents for disobeying. None of our families are perfect, and we might have trouble getting along sometimes, but we're going to learn how God can help us. We learned last week about Jacob tricking his brother Esau, and then tricking his father to get Esau's blessing. Jacob lied, and it hurt his family. He didn't talk with his brother for many years. After a long time of living apart, Jacob got married and had a family of his own. God told him to go back to his hometown, but he remembered how he lied and hurt his brother. He was afraid to go home because he might have to see Esau. Have you ever had a family reunion where you saw people who live far away? Jacob was going to go home and he knew that meant seeing Esau because he had lied and taken a lot from him. Jacob prayed and asked God to help him. He even sent messengers with gifts for Esau. The gift he sent was herds of animals, and he thought it might make his brother happier to see him. Jacob spent the night at his camp, and something very strange happened to him. He had a wrestling match with someone, and it lasted all night long. In the morning, the person he was wrestling with touched Jacob's hip, and it hurt. Then the person he had wrestled with told him he had wrestled with God, and the person left. Whoa, what on earth? After the fight, Jacob had a limp, but he kept walking to meet his brother Esau. As Jacob was walking to meet his brother, he was scared Esau was going to be mad and do something to pay him back. But Esau had heard from the messengers that Jacob was coming, and Esau came running to meet Jacob. When he saw his brother, Esau ran to him and hugged him. They both started crying. Can you imagine how happy it made Jacob feel? Esau forgave his brother and thanked him for the gifts. Jacob was connected to his family again. Even though Jacob and Esau's family had been hurt by lies for many years, God put this family back together through forgiveness. When we have problems in our families or fights with our brothers or sisters or parents, we can choose to forgive and put our family relationships first. We can let God help heal our families.
Hey everyone, what a great Bible story. I have a question for you though. Have you ever had a friend or a family member that just keeps doing something wrong or hurtful over and over again? Yeah, that can be really hard. You know, in sports, like soccer, if you do something wrong, you get a yellow card. And that's your warning not to do it again. But if you do it again, or you do something else wrong, the referee comes over and he gives you a red card. And that'll kick you out of the game. And in baseball, one of my favorite sports, every batter gets 3 strikes before they're out. And so we get these multiple chances. But Jesus had a different idea about that. And in Matthew 18, specifically verse 22, you see Peter talking with Jesus. And Peter asked Jesus, how many times we should forgive someone? How many times? And Peter had a good idea. He said, 7 sounds good. 7's a nice number. It's a good number. But Jesus went further. And in verse 22, Jesus tells Peter and us, 70 times 7. That's a big number. But you know what? I don't think Jesus was really meaning for us to count to 490 and then stop forgiving. That's it. No more forgiveness. You've reached the max. You can't do any more. I think Jesus was just saying to keep forgiving people, to keep giving them grace. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was okay. And if someone is hurting you, you need to get help right away, no matter what. But forgiveness doesn't take away those consequences. At the end of the story, Jacob and Esau did not go and live together. They went their separate ways, but they no longer had hard feelings between them. Unforgiveness becomes like a big, heavy load we carry around in our hearts. When we choose to forgive, we choose not to carry around the heavy load of the grudge. We can have freedom and we can have relationships with people who have hurt our feelings. So keep forgiving as Christ forgave you. Have a great week.
All right, let's get some memory verse practice in now so that you can come say them to me this week. This is the week for prizes. You've had all month to memorize these verses. Let's practice. The first one is Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Let's do it again. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. All right, that's good. Got that one down, or you can rewind it and practice a few more times. Practicing makes perfect. All right, let's do the next one. Psalm 23, 1-3. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths. Psalm 23, 1-3. That one's a little longer. It's got a lot of sentences, so you have to practice this one. I hope you can do it. This is a great one to have memorized. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths. Psalm 23, 1-3. All right, keep practicing. You can come tell it to me this morning at church or anytime this week. Next week, you're going to be in service with the adults, so I'll even wait until next week if you need another week, because that one's a little long. All right, practice away. Wow, what great lessons we've learned today. This month, we've been talking about families in the Bible and our real families. We've learned that all families are different, and we can trust God with our families. Here's a recap of everything we've learned this month. First, we learned about Abraham and Sarah having a baby, and that we can trust God with our families. Next, we learned about Abraham going up a mountain to sacrifice his son Isaac, and that God cares for our families. And then we learned about Jacob tricking his brother Esau, and that God helps us be honest with our families. And today we learned about Jacob wrestling with God and then reuniting with his brother who forgave him. We we learned that God wants to help families heal. We learned some great Bible stories this month. Now that you know all this, look for ways to remember them when you're with your family. I want you to work on those memory verses and get them to me somehow. Make a video or come see me at church. We have service at 9 a.m. outside. And I hope to see you all soon and hear those memory verses so I can get you your fun prizes. See you soon. Bye.